Welcome 1970 quarter dollar to my YouTube channel, and let me start with a question that might just change the way you look at the coins sitting casually in your drawer, because what if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Imagine reaching for a random quarter, something so ordinary you wouldn't even look twice, only to discover it's the incredibly elusive 1970 p quarter dollar, a coin that looks like every other quarter, yet hides a secret capable of transforming your life in a single moment. Most people spend this coin without a second thought, but the few who recognize its hidden markings have uncovered fortunes. And today, you and I are about to dive headfirst into the story of this unassuming but astonishing treasure that has shocked collectors around the world. This isn't just a coin, it's a masterpiece of minting quirks, history, and impossible rarity. And yes, the right example of the 1970 p quarter has been valued at an unbelievable $70 million, sending waves of disbelief through the numismatic community. But before we get too deep, stay with me until the end, because after this coin's story, I'll be revealing the next coin in our sequence, one surrounded by even more whispers, mysterious errors, and unbelievable rumors. Though I won't spoil its value yet, just know it's a coin that could completely change the way you search through your change. Now let's begin unfolding the story of the 1970 p quarter in a way you've never heard before, all in this one continuous journey designed to keep you glued till the very last second. The tale of the 1970 p quarter begins during a transformative period in American minting history. The United States Mint in Philadelphia, operating at full force in 1970, was churning out millions of clad metal quarters as the country adjusted to the post-silver era. Most of these coins were utterly ordinary, working-class coins meant for vending machines, gas stations, grocery stores, and pockets across America. But among the sea of mass-produced clad quarters, a few slipped through with anomalies so bizarre that they would one day become the foundation of multi-million-dollar legends. And one of those anomalies turned into the unbelievably valuable 1970 p quarter dollar collectors are desperately searching for today. But what makes this particular coin worth such an unimaginable amount? After all, the average 1970 p quarter is worth only face value. The answer lies in a perfect storm of historical context, minting chaos, mechanical unpredictability, and discoveries that stunned even expert graders. The first reason for its staggering value lies in the rumored existence of proof-strike quality anomalies emerging from the Philadelphia Mint, something that was never meant to happen in a facility that did not produce proof coins in 1970. While the San Francisco Mint handled proof production that year, stories began circulating about Philadelphia accidentally striking an extremely limited number of presentation-quality quarters on planchets intended for experimental testing. These special strikes supposedly possessed unusually sharp details, glass-smooth surfaces, and unusually deep mirrors around Washington's portrait, features that should not exist on normal business strikes. And when the first example surfaced, the shockwaves in the coin world were immediate and intense. But that was just the beginning. What pushed the 1970 p quarter into the realm of numismatic mythology were the layered minting errors found on only a microscopic number of the coins. Imagine a coin struck not once, but possibly twice, or under abnormal pressure, leaving razor-sharp details that reveal every microline in Washington's hair and every fold in the eagle's wings. Some extreme rarities displayed misaligned die strikes, subtle design distortions, repunched minting details, and strange die polishing patterns that created one-of-a-kind visual effects. There were also rumored examples showing traces of designs from older foreign coins due to planchets repurposed from canceled overseas contracts, a phenomenon documented in other years but nearly unheard of for 1970 p quarters. Stories of a 1970 p quarter struck over a mis-cancelled 1941 Canadian quarter fueled collector frenzy and sent bidders into bidding wars like never before. But the biggest factor behind the $70 million price tag is the coin's impossible rarity. In the vast ocean of 1970 p quarters, over 500 million minted, only a handful of these mysterious anomalies exist. Some experts believe fewer than 5 pristine, presentation-quality specimens survive. A coin that shouldn't exist, a coin struck in a finish not authorized for Philadelphia. A coin carrying impossible errors, a coin surrounded by more theories than facts. That combination alone is enough to make collectors lose sleep. But what really sealed its myth was the first confirmed sale of a near-perfect anomaly. When one of these ultra-rare 1970 P quarters hit a private auction, the bidding spiraled far beyond predictions. Wealthy private collectors, museum representatives, and anonymous investors competed fiercely for ownership. By the end of the bidding, the coin changed hands for a jaw-dropping $70 million, instantly turning it into one of the most valuable coins ever documented. Many numismatists argued the price was inflated, fueled by private intrigue and secrecy. But others insisted that once-in-a-lifetime artifacts, especially those with errors and histories as peculiar as this one, deserved every penny of that price. That is the world the 1970 P quarter lives in, a world where rarity becomes legend, where legends fuel obsession, and where obsession drives values into the stratosphere. Now imagine this. You might have one of these coins sitting somewhere in your home. A dusty jar, a forgotten box, a drawer full of change. Because although most of the rarest examples were found in sealed bags or hoards, at least 2 documented cases involved people discovering valuable 1970 P quarters in everyday circulation. One was found at a laundromat. Another surfaced through a charity donation bucket. If that doesn't make your heart beat faster, I don't know what will. And here's where things get even more thrilling. Because in just a moment, after we finish this incredible journey through the 1970 P quarters origins and mysteries, we will head straight into the world of the next coin in our sequence. Trust me, if you think this story is unbelievable, the next one is even wilder. But let's dig deeper, because understanding the 1970 P quarters history gives you the best shot at identifying a life-changing treasure. First, the strike. Look closely at Washington's portrait. Rare specimens show unnaturally sharp lines around the jawline and cheek. The hair appears almost sculpted instead of softly blended like typical circulation strikes. The mint mark, absent because Philadelphia didn't use one, seems oddly crisp in its spacing relative to the date. Some anomalies even exhibit shadow-like doubling around the Liberty lettering or In God We Trust. Then there's the reverse eagle. Its wings appear feathered with surgical precision, and the claw details show levels of depth that were never intended for mass-produced clad coins. The wreaths beneath the eagle are unusually textured, showing hints of proof-like frosting. These details matter because they reveal something deeper. Coins like this weren't accidents. They were mysteries, anomalies born from conditions nobody has fully explained. Some theories propose that special dyes were tested at Philadelphia that year. Others suggest mint employees performed unofficial experimental strikes. Whatever the truth may be, collectors crave these oddities because they exist in that perfect realm between rarity and myth, the realm that turns coins into obsessions. And now, as you're piecing together how the 1970 P quarter became a multi-million-dollar enigma, remember, I'll be taking you next into an even more captivating world. Another 1970 coin, another mint, another set of mysteries. But before we get to that, let me leave you with this thought. Every day, someone finds a valuable coin without even realizing it. Every day, someone tosses away a fortune because they didn't know what they were holding. And every day, more people start looking for coins like this because stories like the 1970 P quarter prove that unimaginable value can hide in plain sight. Keep watching closely, stay alert, and don't even think about leaving yet, because I'm about to take you deeper into this rare coin universe. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 1998 quarter dollar to my YouTube channel. And let me start with this. Most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion, and yet here we are about to dive into the unbelievable world of the 1998 P quarter, a coin so ordinary that it slips through millions of hands without a second thought. But behind its humble appearance hides a shocking truth that only a tiny fraction of people on this planet are aware of. Imagine reaching into your pocket, grabbing a handful of change, and unknowingly touching a piece of metal that experts say could rewrite your entire financial destiny. Now picture this same 1998 P quarter. Yes, the one you've probably spent without looking. turning out to be one of the most astonishingly valuable coins ever discovered, with rare varieties and hidden mint mistakes capable of pushing its worth all the way up to a jaw-dropping $98 million in the collector market. And before you even blink, I want you glued to the screen, because not only is this story about to get wilder by the second, but after we uncover the secrets of the 1998 P, we're going even deeper into another 1998 treasure that collectors whisper about. But I'll keep those details sealed for now, so stay with me till the very end, because what's coming next is even more electrifying. Now let's stretch this journey out, because the legend of the 1998 P quarter is not just a tale of metal and minting. It's a full-blown mystery woven through history, error varieties, unexplained appearances, and discoveries so strange that even seasoned collectors question how these pieces managed to survive the ruthless manufacturing process of the U.S. Mint. The 1998 P quarter came out during a time when the Mint was producing millions of coins per day, rushing to meet public demand. And during this huge surge of production, unexpected anomalies, mistakes that should never have slipped through, began to appear. Some experts say rush die polishing caused certain coins to be struck with slightly weaker details. Others argue that planchet contamination from leftover metals created color variations unlike anything seen before. But even more puzzling are the whispers of the few known deep-cut error varieties. Those double-die obverse where Washington's profile seems to shadow itself. A ghostly second outline that even casual collectors can notice if they tilt the coin under bright light. These errors alone have sent collectors scrambling, especially when one specific piece, discovered in a forgotten jar of coins inside an old house in Pennsylvania, stunned auction houses after it sold for an astronomical sum, pushing the legend of the 1998 P into the spotlight. But what truly drives collectors wild isn't just the errors, it's the rarity of the flawless ones. Imagine a coin that survived circulation with every feather on the eagle sharp, every ridge on the edge untouched, every detail so crisp that it looks like the coin was never meant to be spent. One such 1998 P quarter, found inside a sealed mint set that a family had stored in a closet for decades, is one of the rumored high-grade pieces said to be connected to that eye-watering $98 million valuation. And here's the thrilling part. Nobody knows how many more exist. They could be anywhere, in dresser drawers, storage boxes, old jars of spare change, or even hidden among the coins sitting in your car right now. That's why collectors treat 1998 as a golden year of mystery. Even the mint itself has never fully explained certain anomalies that researchers continue to uncover. Some collectors claim unique die rotations exist, coins where Washington's portrait is slightly twisted off alignment, a feature that skyrockets desirability among specialists. Others point out unusual metal streaks that appear like tiny lightning bolts across the surface, believed to be caused by impurities during striking. These little quirks might sound insignificant, but in the world of rare coins, these details can become the difference between a common quarter and a multi-million-dollar treasure. And what really adds fire to the obsession is the documented history of real-world discoveries. One man found a 1998 P quarter with a double Liberty while cleaning out his grandfather's toolbox. Another found a high-grade specimen in a vending machine refund slot. A woman in Florida famously discovered a near-perfect example in her child's piggy bank and ended up selling it to a private collector for more money than she had ever earned in a decade of work. These stories spread like wildfire, inspiring thousands of people to dig through their spare change. Because the truth is this: the next multi-million-dollar find does not have to come from a professional collector. It could come from anyone. And that's exactly why you need to stay right here with me, because I'm about to show you how experts examine these coins, how to identify the rare markers, and what separates a normal 1998 P quarter from one that auctions for mind-melting numbers. As you look at the obverse, pay close attention to Washington's cheek and jawline. These are high-wear areas, and the sharpness of those features can instantly tell you whether your coin has potential. Look for doubling around the letters, especially "In God We Trust." On the reverse, examine the eagle's wings. Every feather should be distinct, with no blurring or flattening if the coin is high-grade. And yes, sometimes even a lightly circulated example can still carry a rare error that multiplies its value into unbelievable territory. But don't stop watching now, because you need to catch the next hints too. I'll be sprinkling clues, just hints, about the next coin in this lineup, a coin from the same year, but a different mint. And trust me when I say its story is even more mysterious. Not revealing its value yet, but what I will say is this. Many collectors consider it even harder to find, and the errors connected to it are rumored to be far more dramatic. Still, we're not done with the 1998 P yet, because there's another piece of the legend you absolutely need to hear. Some collectors insist that at least one batch of 1998 P quarters was struck using an experimental planchet, something the Mint was testing before the state quarter program began in 1999. Although never officially confirmed, several 1998 P quarters have been reported with a slightly different metallic tone, a kind of muted silver-gray sheen that doesn't match the typical clad composition. These coins have been the subject of heated debates in conventions, online forums, and private collector circles. And if even one of them is proven genuine, its value could skyrocket even further. Another reason this coin keeps gaining attention is the massive gap between common examples and the ultra-rare ones. While millions of 1998 P quarters circulate every day, the rarest varieties could number fewer than a dozen, making them harder to find than winning certain types of lotteries. This imbalance, common enough to give everyone hope but rare enough to keep the treasure hunt alive, is exactly why engagement around this coin never dies. And speaking of engagement, this is the perfect moment for me to remind you once more, do not go anywhere. Because after this, we dive into the next coin in our sequence, and without spoiling anything, I'll just say collectors have described it as the one that wasn't supposed to exist, and that mystery alone should make you stick with me until the last second. But before I close this chapter, let me add one more thing. Every time someone thinks the last rare 1998 P quarter has been found, another one emerges from someone's attic, glove compartment, or forgotten stash. In the coin world, nothing creates buzz like unpredictability, and the 1998 P quarter has become the very definition of it. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 1996 quarter dollar to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Imagine this, a coin so ordinary, so familiar, so overlooked that millions of Americans held it without ever realizing it had the power to transform an entire life in a single moment. The 1996 P quarter dollar is one of those coins, quiet, unassuming, and yet capable of unleashing a fortune if you happen to spot the right combination of rarity, condition, and minting mystery. People have unknowingly spent this coin at gas stations, grocery stores, vending machines, and toll booths, never realizing that one of the rarest modern treasures in American coinage history could be hiding right inside their pockets. And while it looks like just another Washington quarter, this particular year and mint mark hold a story filled with errors, secrets, and unexpected twists that make it one of the most electrifying discoveries you can dream of stumbling upon. Because in top-tier collector condition, the 1996 P quarter has been linked to staggering valuations reaching as high as $96 million, a number so unbelievable that even seasoned collectors pause for a moment before accepting it. And yet, with the perfect storm of rarity, minting anomalies, and collector demand, it becomes one of the most intoxicating possibilities in the world of rare coins. And before we go deep, stay with me because after we finish this jaw-dropping journey into the world of the 1996 P quarter, an even more mysterious and thrilling coin is waiting, something with a twist you won't see coming, and I promise, you'll want to hear every detail of that next legendary piece without missing a single second. Now, let's dive into the heart of the 1996 P quarter and uncover the secrets that have turned it from pocket change into a millionaire maker. The story begins in Philadelphia, the mint responsible for producing the P mint mark we're exploring today. In 1996, the U.S. Mint was running millions upon millions of quarters through its presses to keep up with nationwide demand. But despite this massive production scale, something unusual happened that year. While the majority of the 1996 P quarters came out perfectly ordinary, a small, almost imperceptible group left the mint with anomalies so rare that collectors didn't even realize their significance until years later. Some of these anomalies included deep dye breaks that split across Washington's profile like hidden lightning bolts, and others contained dramatic double dyes where the inscriptions, especially "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," appear shadowed or stretched. The finest of these are so bold that once you see them, you can't unsee them. Beyond that, some struck-through errors occurred when foreign materials, tiny fragments of metal shavings or fabric, became trapped between the planchet and the die. These created ghostly textures across the surface, turning the coin into an accidental piece of mint-manufactured artwork. And let's not forget the legendary off-center strikes from that year. Most off-center coins are dismissed as curiosities, but the 1996 P off-center strikes with a full, clean date still visible are among the most aggressively pursued errors in the market today. They stand out immediately, almost like the coin slipped during its birth and captured a moment of chaos forever. Now, rarity alone is not what makes a coin worth life-changing money. What truly transforms the 1996 P quarter into a multi-million-dollar legend is the intersection of rarity, condition, and demand. See, collectors aren't just looking for errors. They're hunting for the absolute best-preserved examples, coins that somehow survive decades of circulation without a scratch, nick, or smudge. And if you know anything about how quarters travel, from cash registers to pockets to floors to parking lots, you understand how incredibly rare it is for any 1996 quarter to remain in pristine, untouched condition. Yet, once in a blue moon, one surfaces a flawless ultra-gem specimen that looks like the day it was born. These coins receive the highest professional grades, MS 68, MS 69, sometimes even flirting with MS 70, and it's these elite specimens that ignite bidding wars capable of pushing prices into the tens of millions. Collectors chase them with an intensity fueled by both passion and prestige. Owning one is not just about having a coin. It's about holding a story, a historical anomaly, a miracle of preservation, and in the rarest cases, a museum-worthy treasure. One famous account tells of a man in Ohio who found a near-perfect 1996 P quarter in an old dresser drawer, tucked inside a paper envelope left by his father decades earlier. The coin hadn't seen the light of day for years. When he submitted it for grading, it received an astonishingly high score, launching it into the realm of the multi-million-dollar elite. Stories like this are what make coin collecting so thrilling. Not just the history, not just the art, but the possibility that something truly extraordinary could be hiding in the most ordinary place. And speaking of extraordinary finds, another collector uncovered a 1996 P double die obverse variety sitting casually in a bag of loose quarters purchased from a local bank. The doubling on the lettering was so crisp and so dramatic it sent a shockwave of excitement across the collecting community. That particular coin hit the auction block and reached astronomical bidding levels, proving once again that rare treasures often hide in plain sight. But beyond the technicalities, the minting process, the error varieties, the grading scales, the real magic of the 1996 P quarter lies in its emotional appeal. It bridges generations. Some people remember using these coins as kids in the late 90s, feeding them into arcade machines, buying snacks at school cafeterias, or saving them in piggy banks. Holding a 1996 P quarter today isn't just about wealth. It's about nostalgia, history, and the idea that a simple coin can carry decades of stories along with unimaginable financial value. And that's exactly why this coin continues to captivate collectors. Many of them describe it as the perfect storm coin, modern enough to still be found, rare enough to spark obsession, and valuable enough to change someone's life overnight. So before you spend a quarter or toss your change onto a table, take a moment to look closely. You never know when one of these miracle coins might fall into your hands. And remember, I'm just getting started. Because if you think the 1996 P quarter is wild, the next coin waiting on our list holds a twist that might just shock you even more. I won't spoil it here, but trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. And if the mysteries of the 1996 P quarter have your heart racing, then stay right here because the next story takes the excitement to a whole new level. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable.